here in Tampa Bay? Why? So let's start with you, Patricia. Could you tell us why you were in Tampa Bay and what made you start your company here in Tampa Bay, which is doing a fantastic job representing Brazilian brands?
Thank you.
So I'll leave that for you.
Well, my story, I guess, like many Brazilian and other immigrants that comes to this country, is to look for an opportunity. I came with my family. My mom decided to come, and I came to join her. As I'm here...
Thank you, Zezé. The
yes,
mother's there.
She's right there.
Thank you for bringing Patricia to Tampa.
Yes, so I came after Mama, and as I'm here, and I started to learn the culture, the language, and everything else. I started to get compliments and things on what I was wearing. I was just talking at the table, telling them a little bit about it. But I decided early on that I didn't want to work for somebody else. I did want to have my own business. And because of that, I decided that, I wanted to look for something that, I could do and be my own boss. And with everyone always saying, oh, that's cute, that's pretty, and it was always something from Brazil. My father, he said, why don't you go ahead and start up a business and doing Brazilian merchandise. So I started off as a wholesaler, and then I found my way to just get in my car with some samples and hit the stores, and that's how I started to showcase my product. Was able to open 50 stores, but I did not know how to grow from there. So ended up going to retail, had 2 stores here in the Tampa Bay area. It was called Coco Brazil, one in Hyde Park Village and one in downtown St. Pete. From there, I realized, okay, now I understand how to do distribution. And I ended up opening again, my father behind me and giving me all the ideas and great wisdom on sales and everything else. And I just, got started, and I have a great team. My mom is always with me. She works every single day, and we work as a family. And all the girls that works around with us, they've been with us for at least 5 years and plus. So it's been a great journey, and it's a great challenge. Fashion industry is not easy, but I found a way to become somewhat recognized, and I am so thankful every single day for what I do. Yes.
Very good. How about you, Vane?
Wow, coming after Patricia's hard work. Well, I moved to Tampa. I came to the U.S. to study. I was 19, moved to Tampa in 2006. Had a family, and Tampa is an amazing place to raise a family. So that's why we call Tampa home. As for the fashion business, it started around 30 years ago with my mom. She always ran a fashion industry on top of her career. And that was her way to find financial independence. Around 2 years ago, she decided that she didn't want to be manufacturing anymore and being involved. So the daughters took on the business, and we rebranded the business to Geração Mulher, which is Women's Generation. But as Patricia said, there's a lot of challenges. I'm the type of person that some people, they make tissues, and some people cry. So I make the tissues, and I like to see the opportunities in everything that is out there. So it is a market that we're still learning. We are not as experienced as Patricia or as Mateus. We are learning with them. So thank you so much for having me here.
Very good. Thank you.
So you started to talk about some challenges. I was wondering, you've been in business for how long, Lillian?
14 and a half.
14 and a half. What has been, if you could just highlight or share with us one major challenge that you have faced in the past 14 years?
A few. Bringing product from another country is a great challenge. From the time that you start the logistics to getting the product ready, to make sure it arrives on time. The American standards are really high in this industry because there's so much options out there. Brazil has a higher up price, and that puts us at a very straight position because we have to work harder and come out stronger with our uniqueness and whatever it might be to our product. Our price is on the higher side, but we are also recognized for our quality, so that balances a little, but that's a challenge. Another challenge is that I'm out of the way. I'm in Tampa. And the fashion industry, as we all know.
We're not out of the way.
I mean, a little bit, a little bit. I love Tampa Bay, and I am glad I'm here. But if I was in New York City or LA, Dallas, the challenge would have been a little bit less. And that's one of my hardest parts.
No,
Yeah,
I understand.
yeah.
I
The
understand.
distance from where everything really happens and all the connections, all the networking we could be making and getting our products, way ahead. So that goes.
And I was just wondering, you represent several very famous Brazilian brands.
Yes.
How did they find you, for example?
It all started, I had the one brand that I originally had in my stores, my retail stores, and always wanted to do distribution. And one day they were ready, and finally we came up with a plan. It was a hard work to get that done, but getting that one brand was key. But I chose to do a very unique model. I work with inventory. So I started off having some inventory on hand and going the other way around, where distributors and they're manufacturing for ahead of time. I had the inventory on hand. And with that, I go to the trade shows and so on, and they started to realize, okay, we can get immediate product, into her distribution. So from that, word gets out there, and I've been with them ever since. There's not a brand that I've dropped since I've started. It's been since, one good name after the next. And honestly, in our industry, it's a very niche for Brazilian product, and there's not that much competition. As far as like Brazilian distributors, there's Brazilian product everywhere, but not as many distributors carrying so many lines. And with that, I was able to get a little bit of an edge. And I do work with APACs and all the, the associations with textile, Beach and Tex Brazil. And they bring me to Brazil a lot to do consultings and things like that, and buying and so on. And that gets me the exposure.
Excellent, very good. I'm glad to hear that. Vin, you are going to have a different perspective for us because you are coming to the United States with a company that has been existing in Brazil for a long time, but you are starting here. So what kind of challenges are you currently facing in your position here?
Okay. Many. Well, I think that for us is really to understand how the American market purchases. It's very different from the initial interaction. We always done business in Brazil, sold in Brazil. So to us, it's really understanding inventory. I was just sharing with Mateus and Patricia what is a healthy inventory to keep. So we're still trying to understand how to have an operation that is very efficient. That is our biggest challenge now, which is a good challenge to have, because the worst challenge would be not to need to worry about that because you wouldn't sell. So it is a good, it is our learning curve. But what I love about this type of environment and Brazil, Florida, and other organizations is to be able to get in touch with people that know the answer, that they can give you help, and it is great. It's just, I think that every company and every segment has challenges, and every season has challenges. So we are right now with the challenge of really learning how to get into the market is strong enough, but in a way that we also don't overwhelm the Brazilian production. Because we do sell in Brazil, and now we are coming to sell over here.
That's very interesting.
You mentioned about something very interesting, because one of the major challenges for small businesses, especially an entrepreneur like yourself, is to have access to capital, especially equity financing. Have you faced similar challenge?
Yeah, I honestly have never had financing or loan or anything.
But you tried. Have you
I've
tried?
tried, yeah. I've done everything from scratch, like from building up from literally $500 to what I'm at today. And what I see is that there's a lot of loan opportunities and financing opportunities when you generate a lot of jobs. But in my industry, I have sales reps. They're all contractors. And so we don't have employees as much as, a manufacturer could employ. I don't need equipment. All I need is, goods. And so I find that very challenging to outgrow the business. Right now, I'm coming with the first marketplace for Brazilian product worldwide. Will be the first marketplace for wholesale and selling Brazilian product all over. And I will be sticking for that, but I already know some challenges will come.
Well, we have 3 bankers here in the room. How about you, Vane? Any financing problems as well?
Well, there are challenges, and I think that it is a challenge that every small entrepreneur faces. I have a relationship with money when it comes to that. It's a little bit different because I was talking to Claudia, even from the Hispanic Chamber the other day, and I told her, right now I need more knowledge than I need money. Because money is great, but you need to know where to apply the money, where to put the money. Because my experience with the Geração Mulher, we are starting, but in the business world, I am not so much of a beginner, and I know that you can have money, but if you don't know what to do with the money, you lose the money with the wrong investments. So for us right now, we are running a very streamlined operation with money. We are getting to the point of being able to cover our expenses because different than you, we do have a manufacturer. It allows us to produce around 2,000 pieces per week. So it is a pretty good size. We have employees, so we have a high overhead. But we have employees that are very committed. But yes, it is. I will be in the same situation as you are, but money is always going to be something that can open doors to you, but you need to know where to use and where to invest in.
So I would like to hear on a personal basis how you are balancing the working responsibilities and the personal responsibilities as well. How can you balance and be happy?
Let's start with you.
Start with me. It's very interesting. I run a blog on that. But I don't believe in balance. I have not found balance. I believe in harmony, which is how to create a harmony between all of our roles so that I can feel fulfilled, the satisfaction and the level of success that I want to have. So I'm going to give that answer in one specific point that I think has to do with having it all. As women, we are extremely pressured to have it all. I was trying to do everything. And I needed to learn that it's not because a good opportunity is good and that will be great for me, that is a good opportunity for me right now. And that was a huge process of letting it go, to really choose. We have very small children, 5 and 4 years old. Stephen, like me, he travels a lot. We carry our children around. But, so I would call it harmony, find your all, because once you are living your all, then you're living a mission and you have a purpose. You let go of what doesn't belong to you. You embrace only what it is. And in my case, honestly, Solia, and I cannot not say this, I have a great marriage. My husband is a great supporter of everything that I do. I just went to Brazil the other day. He stayed with the kids. I have the type of person that I do not need to say, Luke and Sophia need to eat this. I can just pack my luggage and go. He takes care of our kids like we are a 100 couple. So I have this that's very different than many women have. But even then, I would say that creating the harmony, and you only find the harmony if you leave your all and you let go of everybody else's all for you. So that's my little secret.
How about you, Patricia?
For me, I have to say that, of course, I have the support of my mom, always there. I don't have a husband. I have an amazing ex-husband who's very supportive as well. But through my journey, my son, he was like 8 months is when I started, the whole thing. And really being out there. And for him, he's used to see that, so he doesn't know any different. which is kind of nice and kind of sad at the same time, because he's used to have me busy all the time and just, not having enough time to communicate with everybody around. But I do my best, like she says, to find harmony and be my best. I can be around him when I do have that time. I have him most of the week, just like, regular day. Mornings you pack, you go to school, you do a whole crazy day of work, and then you come home and then you're watching video games and doing other things and helping homework. And so we found a very good routine. I think the routine that we created, and he's always around the three of us. My son had never one day in his life been on a daycare or with a babysitter. It's always my mom, my ex-husband, and myself. And I think that helped. I know it's very difficult for a lot of people to have that, but we found, we had a blessing, I should say, to have this in our lives. And so because he's always with one of us, I guess, it creates a better balance. But it's not easy. It's not easy.